Hey everyone, North Central here. Thanks for tuning in. Last video that I did the plans for what I wanted to do this year in my garden to come for 2016. In fact, I drew out a little plan here, and this is the back garden in the house of what it was I wanted to do, and I went over it. I've got my seeds and stuff here. Now these 4 seeds, of course, are peppers. They're hot pepper big guy hybrid. They're the sweet pepper sweet savor hybrid, sweet pepper great stuff hybrid, and hot pepper banana blazing banana hybrid. This one's a banana pepper. The blazing banana, the great stuff, is of course a bell pepper. The sweet pepper sweet savor hybrid is more like a Hungarian wax type of pepper, but it's sweet. These are the ones that actually are red, yellow, orange, purple. They're a bunch of different colors, and they actually are supposed to grow up more like a wax pepper. And then, of course, I have the big guy hybrid hot pepper, and it is a large jalapeno. Now, I also have the meatball hybrid eggplant, and it's going to be planted today as well. Now, just like the plan shows here, I'm going to be having 2 of each type of pepper in the back garden. And I think what I decided to do is in the side garden, it's 3 feet wide and 20 feet long in a raised bed. I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 of each pepper in it as well. I'm not going to do the tomatoes. I've got more than enough tomatoes canned from last year and the year before. So I'm only going to do a few of the super sauce tomatoes to make more sauce and whatnots. So, and they will actually be planted. I'm going to be planting the tomatoes more or less this weekend. So the hot peppers, or the sweet peppers, and the eggplant are going to be planted today. I'm going to be using my 32 cell Burpee extra large seed starters, self-watering, 4 rows. Have my eggplants, my hot peppers, my sweet peppers, my bell peppers, and my banana peppers, and I'm just going to put them in here kind of evenly as much as I can, and we're going to get started planting. Now, like I said in the last video, these usually come with little pellets made out of core, which is just shaved coconut fibers. I didn't feel like buying any more of those, so what I did was I had a year or so ago I had bought this bag here to start seeds in, and I never did because I ended up getting the extra large seed starters from Burpee. But this is natural and organic seed starting mix. I read the ingredients off. It's 50 to 60% sphagnum peat moss, vermiculite, core pith, and lime for pH balance. So it's pretty good neutral stuff. And I just took, there was probably about 3/4 of a bag. I just took it and dumped it down into this 5-gallon bucket. Now, one thing that I am going to do is put the Biotone starter in it. This is a organic starter plant food. This is 5 ounces. I'm going to cut that in half and put about 2.5 inches or 2.5 ounces, sorry, in this. And we're going to do that right now. If I can get it open. There it is. About 2.5 ounces or so. And then I got my trusty stir here. We're just going to stir it up dry. Now, this is probably something that you should really do outside, but since it's like 30 degrees, snow on the ground, we're going to do it inside and make a mess while we do it. That way my wife can yell at me later. Okay, so that's all done. I also got some water. Now this is water directly out of my tap, which is city water, which means it's got chlorine and stuff in it. So not going to really matter much. I've already added my fertilizer. The soil doesn't have any micronutrients or anything like that in it. So go ahead and add some water into this. Get this stuff nice and freshened up. Alright, so here we are. Got this pretty well mixed up. And of course when you're done, this is more or less what you're left with. I'm just going to start dumping it in here. We'll go ahead and fill up all of them. I'm not going to use all of them, but I'm going to go ahead and fill it up. Alright, so there it is. This is what it looks like afterwards. I ended up not doing the last 4. I don't really need them anyways, but I just had enough soil to do all these except for the last 4, which is perfectly fine since I'm not going to need it. So I'm going to get this over onto the planter, and then we can start sowing some seeds. Alright, so up here on the counter underneath the lights, and of course the first 3 or 4 days the lights won't be on, but I have the heat mats up underneath of them. They're already getting warm. We're going to go ahead and put these on top of planter. Get ready. And here's a tip. Slide your planters all the way apart from each other as you can, because what that does is it makes the lid fit on a lot nicer whenever you get to that point. So right now all I'm going to do is just take my pinky and poke little holes down in this. So the first seeds of the season are going to be the Blazing Banana Hybrid hot peppers. Kind of like a wax pepper, except they're kind of a medium style hotness. They're not real hot. They're not like a jalapeno. They do have a little bit of heat to them. They make really, really, really good pickled on pizzas. If I can get this package open, we'll plant some of them. Start right here. And I'm going to do 2 per, just to make sure. And I have no doubt in my mind these are newer seeds that these will actually come up. I want to make sure that they're going to come up because I'm going to be planting 4 of them. So there we go. Cover those up. Okay, good deal. And now I can take this package and put it in the refrigerator, or put it in the freezer. Whenever I'm finally done with all this, I go upstairs. I'll put all those packages that still have seeds in them in the freezer so I can use them next year. All right, next is the great stuff. This is going to be a bell pepper. And again, I'll be planting 2 of each. Next is the big guy hybrid. And this is a jalapeno. These are supposed to be some of the bigger jalapenos that they have. Maybe they're the biggest jalapeno that they have. I don't remember. Next is the sweet pepper, sweet savory hybrid. This is the one that's going to be more like the Hungarian wax, where it actually grows up instead of, down. These are little tiny guys. Look how small these little tiny pepper seeds are. So, I'm going to do them back here. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Alright, so we've got one more to do, and that is the eggplant. And this is the eggplant here, the meatball hybrid. And it's actually got some very, very small seeds too. But just like the peppers, we're going to plant them 2 at a time. I'm going to put them in the back. I'm going to leave this one here as a space. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and write down what I got here. And of course, in this one here, this one's going to be empty. I've got eggplant, and then I've got sweet pepper savory hybrid. So egg, plant, and that goes all the way across. And then this one's empty. And I have sweet pepper, I need to stick water down inside this. Okay. So really what's going to happen here is the water that's down here in the reservoir gets soaked up by the pad that the seeds are sitting on. And underneath that I have my heat mat. The heat mat is going to heat up the water, which in turn will heat up the seeds. And with the lid on here will make more of a greenhouse effect. I'm going to turn the lights off for the first 3 or 4 days, and once the seeds start popping up, then I'll be able to take this off, or at least crack it to where they can get some air, and then I can also turn the lights on. And because as soon as these things start popping up, I want to turn the lights on so they start getting energy from the bulbs that I have. So that's pretty much that for now. Alright, so in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. Got my peppers planted, I've got my eggplant planted, and those are probably the 5 plants that take the longest to grow. They're somewhere between 8 to 10 weeks or somewhere in there. So peppers grow a lot slower than tomatoes and other things. Now they say tomatoes should be anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. Here in about 4 days this weekend, I'm going to go ahead and plant my tomatoes. I'm going to plant a couple rows of them just in case I want to do something else with some of them. But we'll get to that then. And so until next time, this is North Central. Thanks for watching.